Salute Nation. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Man, it is a very exciting day for a Saturday morning in the off season. We got a lot to talk about. You already know what time it is. So let's go ahead and kick this thing off. Here we go. Chris, protect the shield. Good morning, brother. How you doing?
My guy, Lunatic Raider Allegiance.
What is good?
We on? Oh, hey! We on.
None other than Mr. Fist, bringing none other than our guy, Joe Morley, bring out none other than the Violator, Wayne Aubrey, bring out none other than the notorious Petro. What is good, Raider Nation? Good morning and welcome to another episode of Good Morning Raiders. I'm your host, I am Jay Raider. Make sure if you guys haven't done so already, go ahead and click that subscribe button and click those thumbs on your boy. Appreciate you guys pulling up, man. Very exciting day today. We have a lot to go ahead and talk about in the head coach realm. Y'all already know. But before we go ahead and get into it, I got to go ahead and acknowledge my chat. Again, appreciate you guys. Thank you for pulling up on this, hopefully, beautiful Saturday morning, wherever you guys be at. Real quick, let me go ahead and salute the chat. Shout out to GM Walt in the building. Gary Kubiak gave praise to Spytech 2014-2015. Spytech was the national scout for Denver when Gary Kubiak won the Super Bowl. All that matters, praising our GM. Hey, man, salute. Thank you for pulling up, my guy. Shout out to Raider Paul in the building. You already know what the early bird Ray. Hold on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Salute, brother. Appreciate you tapping in. Let's see here. Salute to Jack in the building. What is good, my guy? Appreciate you pulling up. Bloody Raider. Salute, my guy. Thank you. Appreciate you, man. Hey, that means a lot, man. Thank you. Thank you for tapping in on this Saturday morning. Yeah, in the building. What is the deal, my guy? Salute. Appreciate you tapping in. Rorschach. Raider 24. One of the mods here at Just Raiders in the building. Salute, my guy. Appreciate you pulling up. Jason Downs in the building. Salute, my. We're going to go ahead and talk about the cap and all that. Definitely this morning. Salute to you, brother. Thank you for pulling up. Let's see here. Armando in the building. What is good, my guy? Yes, sir. Hopefully the Raiders don't mess this up this morning. We're going to go ahead and get into that for sure. Salute to my guy, Chris for Raiders. One of my members here at Just Raiders. Hey, appreciate you, my guy. Salute to you. I hope all is well. Thank you for pulling up, my guy. Tyler A in the building. What is good, my guy? Salute. Thank you for pulling up. Frank Weber in the building. Salute. Thank you for pulling up. Appreciate you guys tapping in and rocking with me on the Saturday morning. All right. we got a great show lined up. Um, as you know, I was supposed to go ahead and have the sportsman on here. Unfortunately, he cannot make it. But either way, we got an action-packed show for you guys today. So let's go ahead and get into it, y'all. Raiders head coach search is starting to wind down. With that being said, there is a couple of news that kind of happened um, this earlier this week. It's crazy. So um, the good thing about doing these shows on a Saturday, we get to see everything that happened throughout the week. So let's go ahead and dive into that real quick. First and foremost, we had somebody that went ahead and pulled out from the running. Davis Webb pulled out of the running with the Raiders earlier this week. Um, Adam Schefter went ahead and broke the news, I believe, on Tuesday. That's when it came out. He put out Broncos passing game coordinator Davis Webb is withdrawing from consideration. Is drawing from consideration from the Raiders head coaching job per source. Webb interview for the head coaching job with the Raiders, Bills, and Ravens. So, as y'all know, oh, if you didn't know, you guys kind of been tuned out for the whole week. It happens. It's off season. But you guys have been tuned out. Broncos actually fired their offensive coordinator, Joe Lombardi, earlier this week, I think on Monday. And then a lot of Raider Nation was like, what the fuck is going on around here? And we saw this could be a potential move where the Broncos might want to go ahead and entice David Webb to stay in Denver and possibly eventually after they do their thing and conduct their interviews, promote David Webb to offensive coordinator. One day, about a day goes by, nothing happens, everything's quiet, but then we get this, and we see that David Webb is no longer in the running for a head coaching job at the moment. And if you guys pulled up to my Monday show, Raiders Unfiltered, I addressed my concerns as far as with David Webb coming in as a head coach, the experience factor was a big red flag for me. Not really having um, that experience at a high level coordinator level like offensive coordinator. He's currently the quarterback coach and I think the pass game coordinator for for um for the Broncos, but nonetheless, he just hasn't had that experience in play calling. But now you know. Now he's no longer running for the head coaching position. Um, sorry guys, I'm getting a text real quick. So right now he is not running for anything as far as head coaching position is concerned. We'll see how that pans out in Denver, but I wouldn't be surprised if they decide to go ahead and eventually promote him to offensive coordinator. Now, this is a thing. Could he still be interested if the Raiders make an offer? Possibly, but with Denver, he hasn't committed to anything yet. All he said that he's out of looking for a head coaching job. They could potentially offer, but my thing is that and he would still be available because Denver would still have to go through their interview process. They just can't come flat out and just point and say, "Hey, you know what? You're going to be the coordinator now. You're going to be under me." Either way, even if he does stay in Denver, I mean, you already know. Champagne calls the plays over there. It wouldn't really be much of a promotion except in title, right? So, uh, either way, Webb is out. Webb is out. We don't. He's not in the mix anymore. So, who is still in the mix for the head coaching positions? Um, we got we got obviously Klint Kubiak. We got Mike LaFleur from the Rams, Chris Shula, defensive coordinator from the Rams, and Ejo Rivera as well. he's still in contention, and it depends where your circles are. I've heard that Ijiro is potentially the second pick if it doesn't work out with Kubiak. Don't know how much that's true. But obviously, we've seen different things float around. We've heard Davis Webb last week. He was a favorite at one point, and now that he's out, you're hearing a bunch of different other things. So, but currently, this is the list of candidates: Michael Floor, Chris Shula, and Ejiro Rivero. You got a couple more guys you can go ahead and add to that list, but in serious contention, I think that these three guys will probably be one of the guys if in case doesn't work out with Kubiak. But obviously, we know clear front runner right now is Klint Kubiak. Klint Kubiak, I think someone reported it's basically his job to lose at this point. It's clear cut. The guy has a very high dynamic offense. I mean, they're literally in the Super Bowl. I think I don't know what the official spread is, but I know they're favorites to go ahead and win next Sunday. So, with all that being said, I think that he is a clear cut favorite. Not, I mean, obviously, nothing has been done up until this point. So, you can definitely go ahead and point in the direction of Clint Kubiak with them not making any type of head coaching moves at this point, with only two being two only being in left in the running at the moment. Um, so uh, crazy situation that we're currently in. But good news, Gary, know Clint Kubiak is set to meet with the Raiders today. Today is officially the second interview. The Raiders will be in Seattle or in Seattle. They should be already be there by now. It's 10:30 in the morning. They should be already in Seattle, getting a if not meeting with Clint Kubiak for the Raiders head coaching position. You guys, let me know what you guys think. Are you guys excited about this? Do you guys think we're gonna, maybe something leaks and hear something today? How do you guys feel about Clint Kubiak? You guys let me know in the chat. Put that in the comment section if you guys watching the replay of this. But let me know what you guys think about Clint Kubiak and the chances of him actually becoming our head coach. Again, appreciate you guys pulling up and rocking with me on this Saturday morning. Make sure you guys go ahead and check in, hit that subscribe button, click those thumbs for your boy. Appreciate you guys. Let's see here. Salute to my guy, Raider Mike in the building, i.e. Raider Mike. Salute, my guy. Appreciate you. Dixon in the building. What is the deal, my guy? Salute. Uh, let's see here. GFAM in the building, one of my mods and members here at Just Raiders. Appreciate you, my guy, tapping in and rocking with me on this Saturday morning. Again, we're doing the whole solo YOLO today. Unfortunately, the sportsman could not pull up today, but we still have an action packed show. You guys let me know what you guys think about the chances of us landing Clint Kubiak. Let's see here. All right. Let's see. All right. Shout out to my guy Rorschach in the building. Look, everyone is stressing out about if it's going to be Kubiak or not. Remember, this is out of our control because we have no say in what happens. Unfortunately, we have to trust the front office. That is facts plus tax, my guy, for sure, 100%. Um, that is facts plus tax. So, but honestly, I do think it is Kubiak's decision. It's his job to lose ultimately at this point. I think Raiders are going to go ahead and do what they got to do to go ahead and try to make that happen. But it is really his job to lose at this point. Shout out to my guy Raider Nation Jason in the building. Salute, my guy. Appreciate you tapping in. D Menace in the building. What is the deal, my guy? Salute to you. Appreciate you tapping in. My guy GM Walt, he says Gary Kubiak gave praise to Spy Tech. 2014-2015 was a national scout for Denver when Gary Kubiak won the Super Bowl. That matters. Praising our GM. Fact. So if you guys don't know what Walt's talking about, there's something that came out earlier this week, probably like a couple of days ago, in regards to there's something actually documented that Gary Kubiak did give some props to Spy Tech. They did cross paths in Denver during that time frame, and for those, because we've heard that like Gary Kubiak doesn't really like the Raiders. I don't know how much of that is, if it's just the competitiveness and being the head coach at the time and not liking the Raiders, or if it's like a deep disdain. And there's a difference. You already know. Like, for example, McDummy, that's probably a deep disdain. Tay, deep disdain for the Raiders. Randy Moss, deep disdain for the Raiders. So I don't know how much of that was actually Gary really not liking the Raiders, or it's just the competitiveness of like, hey, I coach the Broncos, we're a division rival, and it is what it is. But either way, that is a good sign. I'm pretty sure Dad will go ahead and give props. Really quick though, let's see here. We're gonna go. My guy Yaya, he's like, "What's Plan B?" We're gonna go ahead and talk about Plan B. And there definitely should be one. That's for damn sure. If you haven't fucking learned your lesson by now from last year with the whole Ben Johnson situation, I don't know what to tell you. Shout out to my guy Troy in the building. What is good, my guy? Appreciate you pulling up. All right, I got my guy. I got a guest on. I got my pull up my guy Jeff Raider Jeff. You already know he's gonna go ahead and tap in. And we're going to go ahead and talk about this whole Gary Kubiak situation. Let me see. You ready, my guy? All right, cool. I'm going to go ahead and my guy, Raider Jeff in the building. What's
up? How are we doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good. I got about an hour.
All right. Hey.
I just told I got an hour.
We don't. I mean, it's not a whole lot to talk about other than the fact of what's kind of been going on this week with the whole head coaching news. Obviously, we talked about Davis Webb really pulling out early this week. Not too much of a shocker because of what Denver and Champagne did earlier that week with the whole firing of Joe Lombardi, their offensive coordinator, and then we hear Davis Webb is pulling out of the head coaching search entirely for everybody. So, and now we come to this where, we have literally it's just us and the Cardinals. Also, there was another vacancy that was filled the other day. Browns choosing Todd Monken as their head coach for this season coming up and the future. So there's only leaving two vacancies left. One clear-cut guy that's really standing out above all, Is Klint Kubiak. So what are your thoughts with this whole week that's kind of been going on? And obviously they're meeting today. They're doing that second in-person interview. They're in Seattle. They're gonna go ahead and try to get that gentleman's agreement. What do you think so far?
I'm not surprised with Webb. I think what you have there is the fact that he pretty much knew his shot at the head coach, unless Kubiak backed out himself, he probably wasn't going to get it. He had to have known that Kubiak was our odds-on favorite. I mean, it's been very well known that he's our odds-on favorite for the position if he wants it. So I don't know if it was a mutual agreement, and it just shows that he backed out of it. So it still gives him the ability to go and look somewhere else. It's not like the Raiders saying, no, we're definitely not hiring him. They could have even tossed the idea to him, say, listen, if Kubiak's the guy we're going to hire, hey, keep your phone on. We may contact you for an OC position, But like you said, because Broncos fired their OC Lombardi, there's that chance that he's probably going to get promoted in that aspect. So I mean, there is still that, and I guess he doesn't want he's not interested in the Arizona job, which I'm not surprised because that's
right.
I think that's such a horrible spot to go. I'm surprised Cleveland was able to hire a coach before Arizona.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and that whole thing was, I think that threw people out like for a curveball as well, thinking that Jim Schwartz was probably going to get the nod for that job, and they went ahead and turned around turn around and decided to go ahead and go with Todd Monken out of all people. I'm like, okay, so you have a situation there now in Cleveland where Jim Schwartz is like, fuck this, I'm not going to be around if you guys are not going to go ahead and promote me. I guess he's made it very vocal over there. Don't know the whole full situation, but from what I've heard, he's made it pretty vocal. He wanted to go ahead and take over, or at least to be in real consideration for that. So now
they didn't even give him an interview, correct? I don't even think he got an interview with them.
I don't know, to be honest with you.
Which is kind of piss poor on Cleveland's part. I mean, you're talking about a guy that's on your staff already. That's a former head coach, and you don't even consider him like in the running. I mean, granted, I know he didn't have a great time. It was Detroit, right? But again, you got to look at Detroit's history with head coaches. It ain't the best. It's not so much the head coaches; it's the talent they allow the coach and the GM to bring in. Dan Campbell's the first coach that I've seen in Detroit that's been able to pull in talent.
Yeah.
So
sure.
But whatever, it is what it is. But hey, that's fine if he wants to leave. I mean, I'm sure we'll gladly consider him for a defensive coordinator. I'd take him in a heartbeat.
Yeah, and the thing is, I think he's still under. So I think I said on Wednesday that he was still under contract with Cleveland. Now this might be a situation where either we go out and try to buy out the contract where there's some type of monetary compensation. They might potentially release him out of his contract. I think at this point with him literally saying goodbye to everybody in the building and just walking the fuck out, I think it's pretty clear cut that marriage is pretty much done. I don't think they can go ahead and mend that. So they'll probably release him, even though they want to keep him, they'll probably be like, he's like, no, I'm not interested. And or either trade for his coaching right, which I don't see us doing, but more likelihood of us doing some type of monetary compensation to go ahead and work out something with Cleveland in order for us to be able to go ahead and get his coaching rights and sign him over. If that's the route that whoever the head coach is, if that's Klint's route, that's probably if he.
I didn't even want to consider a trade for a head coach, let alone a defensive, coordinator's position. Hell no. We can't afford to give up draft capital. We need more as it is, And I know everybody's like, well, we got 10 picks. I'm like, 10 still, that's still not, I want more.
We're going to get into the whole
draft. The more bodies, the more competition, the more it lights a fire into someone else's ass on the roster and makes them perform better than, what they have been possibly. We don't even know what the evaluation talent of the coach's step that's going to come in too, because I guarantee the guys that are there now aren't going to be there anymore.
Oh yeah,
so
for sure.
The talent evaluations are going to be better, hopefully.
Shout out to my guy Ja. I want to go ahead and pull this comment up. He says Kubiak had dinner with Mark Davis on Friday, and it was a good scene. He says it's all over Twitter. I haven't seen anything. I was on Twitter yesterday, probably up to like 1 a.m. my time, and then
was it PF Chang's?
Probably, bro. Probably. I don't care. Take that man where the fuck he wants to go.
Take him to McDonald's.
Take him to the Bunny Rat. Whatever.
Just beat him.
Beat him and show him a good time. Whatever that means, bro.
Take him to a strip club, whatever.
Whatever, exactly. It's like, don't be cheap, Mark. Don't be cheap trying to go to PF Chang's, bro. No, you like that Mushu dog. No. Come on. Josh says they're saying if Kubiak gets a job, he's bringing in Raheem Morris and online coach John Benton. I hope that's the case. If that's going to be the thing that actually happens, I do like Raheem Morris. I don't know about Jim Schwartz, but you know, I mean, he had a pretty good defense over there in Cleveland. We know that. A lot of it's Miles Garrett, but you got some other talent out there. So I wouldn't be mad if it's Jim Schwartz or somebody else. But yeah, we'll definitely see what happens with that. Um, and I wanted to go ahead and put this up, and me and you talked about it in our group chat um, the other day. But let me go ahead and pull this up. Here we go. All right. So maybe there's some news that came out also as well that might influence Clint Kubiak's decision in coming and possibly leaving Seattle. There was an announcement made earlier this week that the Seahawks are actually going to be selling the team after the Super Bowl. And does that really impact could that impact Clint Kubiak's decision to leave Seattle and come over to the Raiders? So this was put out by Seth Wickersham. Shout out to him. News from Brady Henderson and me: the Seattle Seahawks will go up for sale after the Super Bowl. They could set a record for an NFL team pricing around 7 to 8 billion per a rival team executive. And that is definitely not out of the realm of possibility for a team to be sold that far high. We're currently evaluated around that range ourselves.
Yeah,
Um,
they go around 6, I think. That's what I
yeah, I think
saw.
like 6 to 7 around there.
Yeah.
So that is definitely not out of the realm of possibility, especially if they win that Super Bowl. That price might go even a little bit higher than that. I mean, they got state of the art facility. They got a really nice stadium out in Seattle. They've been a contender, so that that could be definitely a very lucrative team. But in that being said, you never know when new ownership comes into the building what type of changes are they going to make. You don't know if Mike McDonald is going to stay in Seattle for a very long time. They could give him maybe another year, and usually with teams that win the Super Bowl the next year is not that great. Either they have trouble making the playoffs or they get so far into the playoffs they don't make the Super Bowl. With that being said, having the benchmark that high, you don't know if they could ever part ways with Mike McDonald over there, right? So what is it? What does that mean for Clint? Does he get clipped eventually in 2 years down the line, and then he could go back saying like, "Hey, you know what? I had the Raiders head coaching gig. At least I know I could have had stability there for the next 3 years, right? Now I'm out of job. Now I have to go ahead and look for another offensive coordinator job, which shouldn't be hard for him, but
Yeah.
knowing his aspirations, he wants to be a head coach. But let me ask you, what do you think the impact does for Clint, knowing this information is out there, knowing that the team is going to be sold after the season's over for him, which is
Well,
after
if I'm
Sunday.
not mistaken, if you look back at past history when teams are sold and bought by a new owner, um, usually the coaching staff it's no different than a new mayor taking over a city. Next thing you know, the police chief gets replaced, the fire chief gets replaced because he's bringing in guys that he likes. So it could almost be the same situation here where, yeah, the new owner may terminate the contract of McDonald. Anybody involved with the coaching staff, he may want to go a different route, especially if they end up losing the Super Bowl. Then it's going to be like he's going to look at it as like, hey, I want to do it my way. I'm the owner now. This is my chance to put because at this point, when he takes the team over, if he doesn't change anything in the coaching staff, it's still the old owner's team, basically. You know what I mean? It's like how Gruden took over Tampa Bay. It was still Tony Dungy's team. Really wasn't Gruden's touch on any of that for the most part. But with an owner, yeah, I mean, it could be writing on the wall where he hears that, all right, the team's going to be sold after the Super Bowl. Well, I might as well get out of here now. So the Raiders want me. Why would I not go? I don't think that's going to sway his decision one way or the other. It's not going to force him to say, hey, I'm going to stay and see what happens here. I got a chance to go make a name for myself. If he comes to the Raiders and turns this around, he's going to be one of the greatest coaches that we could have ever had. You know what I mean? He's going to be right up there with Madden and Flores if he turns his shit around and turns us into something spectacular going forward.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the only one that's really probably going to worry is the head coach position in that case. GM, who knows? He could be out too. So it could have a big difference,
Yeah. All right. I want to go ahead.
And I agree with Walt. I mean, I get what he's saying too. I don't think it's going to change Kubiak's decision. I think Kubiak wants that shot. It's just going to be, is it because the Raiders he turns it down? I know Jason Downs is always telling me, don't forget, it was the family history with the Broncos and how much they hate the Raiders and everything. I'm like, we have enough money in his face. I don't think that's going to matter.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I totally agree. Well, with Gary Kubiak kind of putting that out there for Spytek, I think that's a definitely good sign. I want to go ahead and put this up. Shout out to Jaw Raider. He went ahead and sent me this thing on Twitter. He was able to go ahead and locate it for me. Let's go ahead and pull it up. It's a tweet from Dan Vines. I guess he covers the Seahawks. He put out there that he got a text from a former coworker that Klint Kubiak is dining with Davis for a second interview with the Raiders at his old restaurant. And then there's something else that was also put out, I guess. Kubiak dining with Davis at Gotcho Bellevue tonight. Second interview for the Raiders. Oh man, I didn't even consider that they might do it there. And it just he asked like, I hope he stays. The reply was, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. And then this also put out by Albert Martinez. Yes, the rumors are true. Davis and Kubiak had a dinner, all smiles, like a deal has been made. Tom Brady and John Spytek will meet with him in person. I guess the official thing that they're going to go ahead and meet with them today, right? Today is officially the interview. But if they already had like a pre-dinner, like, hey, let me take you out to dinner, man, and they chopped it up. The gentleman agreement could have been done last night for all we know. And this is just a formality, because there's some things that you can go ahead and have that handshake agreement. Hey, we're going to go ahead and bring you in, and what's the number that you want? They agreed on that, and I think maybe this could have been cinched up last night. I don't know, right? But again, it's still a gamble for the Raiders, because even if you come into agreement, right, you get the handshake deal, he can still say no. He can still say no after next Sunday. He could be like, you know what, I'm gonna stay with Seattle. I'm gonna run it back. I'm gonna see how this goes. So that's the question now: is do you make the gamble and wait for him until after next Sunday, because he will be available February 9th, which is the day after the Super Bowl. We can make that official. Or should they go out and get one of the three guys that are still available, Flores, Shula, and Ivro. There's a couple more guys that are still out there as well, but I think these guys will probably be the more likelihood of them potentially be plan B in case Kubiak's a no-go. What are your thoughts? Do you think do you feel confident that this is going to happen?
Yeah, I do.
Plan B.
I can't see us fumbling this way. The only thing that scares me is Mark Davis actually had a one-on-one with them, and this is like the one thing I said that I didn't want Mark Davis anywhere near the coach and hire. Because I didn't want him to muddy up the waters, basically. Right. Just let Brady and Spytek handle it. If that's what the decision was that they're going to handle hiring the coach, just leave it to them too. We'll get you involved, Mark, when it comes time for the contract negotiation and you're going to sign the check and everything. But that's fine. But prior to that, let us do all the talking with him, just so, just don't want him out of like talking to somebody beforehand. That's all. He just makes me nervous. That's all.
I agree 100%. I think I don't think he was. I don't think they were there by themselves. I think Spy Tech was probably there in that
I hope
meeting.
so. Someone needs to keep Mark under
That
the
that buffer,
control.
just that buffer to
Yeah.
go ahead and and if he needs to step in and save the sale, he's the
You
guy.
know, you haven't experienced it yet with your kids. They're not old enough, but it's like going out somewhere with your kids. And when they start to say something silly and stupid, you got to kind of give them that nudge or just give them that look like knock it off. And that's what they needed to be. They needed that buffer.
We need a buffer in case because you never know. They're probably like, we can't trust Mark to be alone with this guy. The guy fucks up a bag of chips. I mean, it's hard to do. But there's people out there that do all that. I don't think that's the case, but
No, I hope
you never
not.
know. I think he has to be there. I mean, he's the guy who's opening up. He's the guy who has to sign the check at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
So he has to be like, what do I put in here? What's the number? You give me the number. I have it signed already. Put it. You tell me the number. I'll put it in. That's it. And I think that's kind of the scenario that kind of went down. They have to get to know each other. They have to talk. They can't completely avoid each other. He's going to be in the building if he comes over, obviously. So, and he's the one that's going to go ahead and flip the bill. But again, you guys, let me know what you guys think about the whole Klint Kubiak. Do you guys, after seeing that, do you guys think it's almost a done deal? Do you guys feel pretty confident? Do you guys are still on the fence about it, or you guys are completely not even about Klint Kubiak? Let me know you guys' thoughts down below. Again, appreciate you guys rocking with me on this Saturday morning. Make sure you guys go ahead and click that subscribe button. Hit those thumbs on this channel. Shout out to almost 100 people in the building. Make sure you guys go ahead and also head on over, hit that subscribe on my guy, 401 Raider Jeff, on his channel. If you guys are not subscribed, go ahead, head on over, hit that subscribe button. Oh my God. Appreciate you guys rocking with us this Saturday morning for sure. But yeah, man, I mean, it's crazy. But I think there should definitely still be a plan B because you just don't know. We
You
can't say
have to.
100% sure until the ink is, till pen is to paper. Until then, anything could happen. So you have to have a plan B. And I think having a guy like Michael LaFleur is still available, a guy who's part of the Shanahan tree. Yes, I know we don't know who actually calls plays in LA. Most likely, it'll probably be McVay most of the time. But either way, you've had Michael LaFleur under him for the last 2 or 3 years now. They've had success in LA. We see that product there. It is what it is, clear cut. You also have Chris Shula, defensive minded coach, but still under that McVay tree. You have that name there as well, right? Guys who don't still young, very young, innovative, that can come in and also make an impact here. You got E.J. Rivero, probably a clear number 3, number 4 choice down the line. Some people think he might be plan B in case Kubiak doesn't work out. But either way, we have to have a coach. We can't run the season without a coach. We have to have a coach. So hopefully they have a plan B in place. But I think it's Michael LaFleur, in my opinion, if in case it doesn't work out with.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. I mean, because the last thing we want is having to settle on a coach. Like, oh, well, we couldn't get him, so we had no choice but to go this route. I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, he wouldn't be taking all these meetings. At that point, he's just wasting his own personal time, and he's got to prep for the Super Bowl. So why would he have that as a distraction,
right,
if he has no ambition to possibly, to take the job in the first place? I don't think there's anything to worry about with Kubiak. But yeah, you still need to have a backup, plain and simple, just in case. I mean, coaches have done it in the past where they agree to take a job and then pull out of it. I mean, Belichick did it twice.
Yeah.
Josh
Exactly.
McDaniels has done it. I'm sorry, not Belichick. Belichick did it once. But Coach Kingsbury did it to us, just like someone mentioned in the chat. We have PTSD over that shit. I'm not worried about it. He'll be here.
Yeah.
I think we'll be fine.
And then the most recently, obviously, Ben Johnson with his thing with us in Chicago. But obviously,
there's another one too. That we thought we had him in the bag too. But
Yeah, that was, and that's what I'm saying. Like, hopefully, there's a plan B. I think Pete was plan C last year, like, or plan D. I don't
Well,
think
that's what I
it was
mean by
definitely not the
settling.
first choice.
We ended up having to settle on him because he was basically, out of what was left, he was the best option in their eyes. Not necessarily
Right.
anyone else's, but I mean, hey, what are you
Yeah.
going to do?
I think the coaching rotation out there, the coaching cycle, excuse me, is better this year than it was last year. But there was obviously a lot of positions that became available surprisingly this year. So, but I think the coaching cycle is better this year for sure.
Okay.
Walt says it's a done deal. Book it. That GM Walt knows. Salute, brother. Shout out to him. It looks that way. But again, I just don't want to
I'm
jinx.
confident.
Yeah.
I'm confident.
Jason Down says if Kubiak can just bring in Justin Otten, it would be a huge deal. And this is the thing. We're going to go ahead and talk about this, and I'm glad he's bringing up staff, right? And we're hesitant on. I've been hesitant. I think you've been hesitant on speaking on staff, but this also could play an impact into the decision for Kubiak as well. There was also another announcement that happened just a couple of days ago, or like a day ago, yesterday. Um, our guy PG Patrick Graham is officially leaving the Raiders. We kind of saw this coming a little bit, but officially it's done deal. He is actually heading over to Pittsburgh, and he is becoming the defensive coordinator there, along with Mike McCarthy. Um, just literally got anointed the head coaching position. I think it was early last week. But
Mhm.
yes, Pittsburgh Steelers putting this officially out. They've named Patrick Graham as their defensive coordinator. So now we literally don't have an actual coaching staff at the moment as far as coordinator, head coach position. The top three that is fully vacant. So though I know we have Greg Olson interim, but technically he's not the coordinator, right? So now you have an open staff, right? Now, if if he decides to go ahead and take the job, now it's his to really go ahead and staff it the way he wants it, to bring
Yep.
in the guys that he wants, because now we know Chip Kelly's out. He went back to college. PG, it's going. He's in Pittsburgh now, so
Fine with me.
the guy. Yeah, he could bring in the guys that he really wants to go ahead and really help him put this team together. I mean, how big of a deal is that? Knowing that you can go ahead and bring in your own guys, again,
Make that huge.
we had this issue last year with them pairing Chip Kelly. Now we found out that it wasn't Pete that wanted Chip; it was Brady that wanted Chip. And but how big of a difference does that make? Knowing that you can bring in the guys that you want, you don't have
Well, I would
anybody.
like to think. I would like to think any head coach that gets hired, it's his choice who's on the staff, plain and simple. Um, and I'm fine with PG being gone. I honestly, and I'm on record saying this multiple times already. I don't want anybody left that's still on the roster, right, on the coaching staff right now. I want them all gone. I want a brand new. I want a totally clean slate, and I just want everything. All new all new coaches. For every single position coach, everything. Right down the line. I don't want any holdovers left over. And I was always in favor of Philbin when he was on the offensive, running the offensive line in 2024. But at this point, you know what? Bye. See ya. He
Mhm.
might be the only one that I would seriously consider leaving. But if he brings that, what the hell's the guy's name? If he brings John Benton over with him, the offensive line coach from Seattle, then I'm fine with him.
Yeah,
Him taking over that aspect of it.
yeah, for sure.
But I
Shout
don't anybody.
shout out to Rorschach. He says, in my opinion, the second interview is just going over the contract negotiation. It's his job, and they're tied to spy tech from his father, and he knows that he will get everything he needs. Facts, bro. And I really think that they have to go ahead and figure out the money part, right? To know like, hey, it's a done deal. Or if have an agreement saying like, hey, if Arizona comes back, um, or if there's any issues, I want to say Arizona, but if there's any issues, let us know, type of thing. Like no matter what it is, let us know. Basically saying like if Arizona comes back and gives you a big offer, let us know because they're not going to come out outright and say it, but they he knows that we'll beat almost any offer that comes in to the table, right? So I think when I say like should go all in on Clint, I think you have to go in all in on Clint. Whatever you
Yeah,
got to
you
do,
don't
go
put
ahead
them.
and lock that guy up. You do, and I think this is also a point that they should also make, and hopefully they. I don't know if they have to put this in writing or not, but maybe there needs to be a guarantee in place that he's going to be there for at least 3 seasons, buying that he doesn't violate like any type of like morality clause or anything like that where like a domestic violence case or anything or like a situation where we had with Ruggs type of situation where they're forced to go ahead and cut ties and yada yada, but if there's some type of a an agreement that's made that hey you're going to be here for at least 3 years, we're going to give you
Yeah,
3 years, barring that you don't do anything that you know, outside of football that you know puts bad light on the organization and yourself, you're going to be here, right? And I think you need to go ahead and really emphasize that part because honestly, everybody, media included, knows that coming here it's a very unsure bet. You just don't know whether you're going to be here after year one or not, and that's the part that it probably. It probably pushes certain people from not wanting to go ahead and put their hat in the ring with our position that's open. So I think that needs to be definitely emphasized in these interviews that are happening right now for sure, for sure. Um, let's see here. Shout out to Omicron. It says Morris's defense scheme is flex.
your mic went out. No, still no.
Check,
They say it again.
check.
Yeah, that's there you go.
All right, there you go.
You sound muffled and distant though. Distant though.
All right, hold on. Okay, there we go.
There you go. There you go.
You know why? You know why? Because my son last night was over here pulling on my cords and
Oh
I
shit!
pulled on the mic cord. The mic cord hangs down. So, he likes to
Like,
like
oh, look at this.
yes. I'm like, what? I'm like, oh yeah, he was messing around with that last night. All right, that's what it is. As soon as I popped it in, now it's like it's the whole thing is lighting up. All right, shout out to Omicron. He was talking about Morris's defensive scheme. It's compared to Vic Fangio, Brandon Staley scheme with his own background, using a 3-4 type base for sure. And and if there's a pairing, if they want to go ahead and if he wants to bring in a guy, Raheem Morris, I feel that would be a better fit for us with Kubiak. And I think that's really what you want to go ahead and really focus on. And I know Ja put this question now for the chat and for us as well. If Clint comes in, who would we want as an offensive coordinator? Exactly, and you said it yourself, Ja. He calls his own play. So whoever's gonna be the guy, I think is a guy that you bring in to go ahead and develop because you know that he's just there basically entitled. He's there to learn. He's there to go ahead and help you out to call certain plays, but it's going to be a lot planned. That's really going to be the bread and butter of this offense if Click comes in. So whoever comes in, I talked about the Raiders tight end coach months ago, right?
Yeah.
I think like back in December, was supposed to be an um, up and coming coach that we should definitely go ahead and keep an eye on. Maybe this is a situation where maybe you give a guy like that, but you just don't know. Whoever I feel like whoever Clint wants to bring in, he can bring in anybody he wants. I don't give a damn. Let that man build his fucking team, and then we'll sort it out later. But hey, I know it's his first time coaching, but I think Raheem Morris is the defensive side of the ball is definitely what we have to kind of look at more. Offensively, I'm not worried, but defensively, that's a real question that we should probably be asking ourselves for sure. Um, let's see here. Um, Troy says, source says Clint Kubiak rejected the coach job from the Cards, and we kind of saw that coming. It's not
Yeah.
that position is not very enticing. It's not very attractive. They don't have a lot of cap. Uh, they don't know what their quarterback situation is going to be with Kyle Murray over there, and they've been just struggling. So, yeah,
They got what, the 5th or 6th pick, I think, in the first round.
I think they're 3 or 4.
Is it 3? I
I
know
think
it's early in the draft. I know that.
I think they're 3. I think they're 3 because when I do my mocks, they're the ones that first one that comes up. So, and I think they're like number 3. I want to say they're up there. They're top 5, I think, for sure.
Yep, number 3. They're definitely number 3.
Yeah. Let's see here. Shout out to my guy, Raiders Food Chris. Appreciate you pulling up, my guy. Salute. All right. Let's see here. All right. I appreciate my guy, Rorschach. Make sure you guys hit the mics. Appreciate you guys. Salute to everybody. Salute to everybody on X as well. Make sure you guys come on over to YouTube. Hit that subscribe. Be part of the chat here. Appreciate you guys tapping in. Let's see. Jason Dunn says a spokesman for Paul G. Allen Estate said in a statement Friday that the team is not for sale. That we already said that will change at some point per Paul's wishes. I have no news. I don't know. If that's true, I don't know if that was put out by the media. You already saw. That's out there on Twitter. So
I'm laughing because when I went in to look at the draft order, I was in the mock draft real quick, and I just looked to see what it gave me for offers. So I took the Cleveland one for the hell of it. So Cleveland ended up moving up to number 1, and we took their pick in the first round. Who do you think they drafted number 1?
I don't know.
Just take a guess. My wife's in the other room. She just yelled it out. They ended up taking Mendoza. I'm like, God damn, if that really did happen again, they're going to go for another fucking quarterback.
Don't be surprised that shit happens, bro. Don't be surprised that happens. And
I know. It's sad part.
I get that amount.
You know how bad your team is.
Yeah, exactly. They don't know what's going to. I mean, they're trying to hype up Shador. I don't know if you saw that post where Shador came in to meet Todd Monken.
Yeah, I saw a video of it. Yes.
Yeah. So they're trying to rally behind Shador and probably pop him up as the next guy, which you probably, if he's staying in Cleveland, should be. I mean, who the fuck else are you gonna have there as your QB1? So that's the thing. Jason Downs has a question for you. He says, when I said that that was an absolute, or was it a variable that could sway Flintstone's decision? I don't know what that means.
Question, Jeff, when I said that was an absolute, or was it a variable that could sway? I think he means Clint's decision.
Oh, probably Clint.
I still don't understand the question, though. I don't know if I'm.
Yeah. Shout out to Hummer in the building. He says, do you guys think Clint brings along Clay at some point? Maybe. I think whenever Clay and Kyle Shanahan relationship ends, I think that's the time where he brings him in. Other than that, we've heard Kyle Shanahan say he ain't going nowhere. He ain't going to nowhere. So he can't go to another team to be a coordinator. So I think it's basically whenever that
Yeah,
marriage
they have
ends,
right of refusal. Basically, they
right?
can unless
Yeah,
it's a promotion. They can't stop a promotion. They can stop a
exactly.
lateral.
Yeah. So whenever that marriage ends, then I think that's when it'll happen for sure. But I know we were speaking of the cap, and I put this out there for you guys as well, in our group chat. The NFL is increasing the cap space. Now we knew there was going to be a raise at some point, but they're actually raising this to 300 million for all teams, which is crazy. We already have like 100. We're projected to have just over 100, somewhere around that range. So it's crazy for them to go ahead and raise it. We'll have a lot of money in the bank. Let me go ahead and kind of pull this up real quick.
So now it's
This,
up like another. I thought I saw Jason post something. Goes up. We go up another 20 something, 21 mil. I think it is.
I don't know exactly what the figure is. I haven't looked into the exact numbers, how much additional we would get, but this was put out by Tom Pelissero the other day. The NFL Informed Clubs today is projecting a 2026 salary cap in the range of 300.2 million to 305 million per club per source. That would represent a significant jump from this year's 279 million cap number to nearly 100 million than the 208 cap in 2022. So more money coming our way. Yeah, if it's 20, 30, 40 million, hey, that's still a lot of money. I mean, we could definitely do a lot of things with that. Having more money in cap space is also another thing that would be that's very attractive for this position,
Yeah.
that you have you have the number one pick in the draft. You have the ability to go ahead and bring in your own staff. You're gonna have well over 100 million in cap space to do a lot of things that you want to go ahead and do. I don't want to say everything you want to do, but a lot of things that you want to do. They can go ahead and really put a really solid team together for this season coming up. So I think all those variables combined, and if you're able to go ahead and get a guarantee that you're going to be here for the next 3 seasons, I think it's going to be a done deal for sure. To having Clint come over and be the head coach of the Raiders, and obviously we won't know anything officially until after the Super Bowl. Hopefully, maybe we get a leak that that they come to a gentleman's agreement. And obviously both parties can acknowledge it, but if there's a little tidbits that are put out there that are leaked that everything went good, everything it looks like the likelihood is very very probable.
Yeah.
That'll be great news to hear. And obviously, the Super Bowl being just over a week away, we'll know soon enough, and we can be able to go ahead and start building out a coaching staff for this season coming up. But yeah, I mean, I think I don't know. I think this is I think it looks good. In my opinion. Really quick shout out to Chris for Raiders with the $5 super. This is all the old coaching staff should be canned and fresh start. I agree 100%, my guy. 100%. They should clean slate
Yep.
it. At this point, what's left anyways is all like mid level to lower level coaches.
Scrub the whole coaching staff.
Yeah, the most we saw this last year where a lot of guys got dismissed. They kind of know what time it is, especially when it comes to regime change.
Yep.
Only a handful of guys were able to go ahead and survive the last coaching cycle. So I don't think anybody survives this one. I think it's going to be clean slate. Kubiak or whoever comes in is going to be able to go ahead and bring in the guys that they want to go ahead and bring. That's basically, and I think it's a good thing. I think we just need to go ahead and like you said, fresh start for sure.
Yeah.
Homer says, begging for a defense that has been not break for sure, 100%. 100%. For sure, my guy. Walt says, question past head coach thoughts on pick 36. What we can get into a little bit of draft talk. I know we have like a couple more minutes left, but who do you think we should get at pick 36 or second round, just to say?
At that point, I'm looking at whatever's still available for us. What's the top offensive lineman that's available at that point? Whether it's guard or tackle. You know, if it's a tackle, preferably what's out there for left tackle at that point. Even center. I know centers aren't rated as high right now. Like there'll still be plenty of centers left later in the draft. The highest rank one I've seen is like in the 50s. I mean, if I'm looking at a center, I still think we could get somebody like Slaughter late in the draft type of thing. But
you wouldn't go right?
I think offense.
You wouldn't go right tackle. You wouldn't go right tackle first.
I don't know. I know I can't trust Glaze right now just based on his performances last season. Do we maybe try Caleb Rogers over there, or do we specifically target a right tackle in free agency and in the draft? You know, bring in a veteran and draft one now to follow behind him, you know, and still have Glaze there too. So you're still going to have other options.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe, you know, probably right tackle, but he's still going to think about this. So we re-signed Colt Miller for a 2-year deal, right? So we still need to look at who's seriously going to take over for him. And we either need to hope that in the next draft or two after this one, that there's a bona fide early left tackle that can be a plug and play. If not, we need to make sure that we actually start looking at a left tackle, because that's the most valuable spot on that line. Is we have to make sure that, especially if you're going to go and grab a young quarterback like Mendoza, you need to make sure that left side is locked down for the future. So that left tackle and him are there long-term together. So I'm thinking we need to actually look at a left tackle now with the future replacement for Colt Miller. Because don't forget, Colt Miller's getting older. He's injury prone. You know, is he reliable throughout every season? Sometimes not. You know, when we do lose him, we tend to lose him for quite a few games. So I would definitely look at a left tackle. Yeah, I know he's young, but he's got injury issues is the problem. You know, between the shoulder and the knee and everything and the ankle. I mean, trust me, I still think he's the best offensive lineman we have, hands down. You know, he's still, you know, a top-tier tackle and left tackle in the entire league when he's healthy, you know.
Yeah.
But he's still going to look at, again, we've only got him for a 2-year contract.
Yeah, exactly. So you can go different ways. Obviously, you can draft a higher round right tackle and get Charles Grant because he can play left or right. You can always have him there as backup, right? Or you can always put in Charles Grant into that right tackle position, draft a lower level left tackle, say rounds 5 or 6, and just have him there as development. You can always do that as well. I know GFAM says the right tackle, senior Max Alina Anchor. I think I probably butchered that. That's another guy. Yeah, definitely. That could be another guy that you can go ahead and keep your eye on for sure. Brandon Smith, another guy for sure. If you want to go ahead and go through the free agency route as well. So there's different options we could go ahead and do that. Obviously, Leonard Baum is another guy that is going to be a free agent. He's going to be out there. I think Ravens are going to try to figure that part out and try to keep him until if they can't come in agreement, then they'll probably let him test free agency. I don't know what their plans are. If they're going to go ahead and draft a guy, maybe that's what they're thinking. Because it's odd that they didn't pick up his 5th.
Yeah,
I don't know, you know, or
and again, like I said, we're
they didn't work out a deal.
Yeah, we're possibly in a bidding war with him too.
Yeah, so that could be another situation as well. So, it all depends. But either way, I really see obviously Clint's going to go ahead and address this offensive line I don't think you go another season without really addressing and really fixing its offensive line, especially the performance they put out this past season. You have to. Everything is based a lot on run heavy with Clint, so you have to have that offensive line being there to be able to block to open up those gaps and lanes for Genty and whoever's going to be his backup as well. So a lot of different directions that could happen there, but obviously we'll know in about a week of what's going to happen there for sure. Again, I appreciate everyone pulling up and rocking with us on this Saturday morning. Again, if you guys haven't done so, make sure you guys go ahead and head on over, hit that like and subscribe button on this channel, on your boy. Make sure you guys go ahead and head on over to Jeff's channel, 41_Raider_Jeff. Make sure you guys go ahead and give him a subscribe. Appreciate everyone tapping in, rocking with us. Go ahead and get your final questions in, guys. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up shortly. Again, we just wanted to go ahead and go on here and chop it up, talk about, obviously the big Raider news going on right now, the head coach search, and will the Raiders be able to go ahead and get into that gentleman's agreement to lock up Klint Kubiak for another week until they can finally make it official, doing their second interview technically today.
Yeah.
They had dinner last night. And maybe the deal could have gotten done yesterday, last night, for all we know. And today is just a formality. So we know Arizona Cardinals are also in town. They're going to be doing their second interview with him as well. So
hope he tells them to go pound sand.
Probably. I think he took that interview just to either one, gain leverage, or two, just to be polite, or both.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm gonna accept this interview, but just know that probably won't happen. It probably won't happen. So, it's either that or he stays. It's those three options: either Arizona, us, or he stays in Seattle. Those are the three options he can do. But it looks like it's most likely going to go ahead and happen here with us. So,
there was a name someone mentioned in the chat. I don't know if it was Walt or not. But somebody mentioned Rashid Shaheed from Seattle, different agent. He wouldn't be a bad viable option either, to be honest with you. I don't mind him at all. His market value is going to be a little high. His market value is like about 14 right now, 14 mil.
Yeah.
I definitely want some. We definitely need to do something at wide receiver, whether it be free agency or the draft. Because we can't go into next season with what we have. Between Tucker, Thornton, and Betch, that's all we have right now. That, even got some serious play time last year. Now, I know Shedrick Jackson wasn't that bad when he got a chance out there, but he's still kind of green. He needs some more time too, but I don't know. The receiver room is rough. It's really rough. And we still need another running back too.
Yeah, but with that, you can either draft one in the late six, or you can sign one free agent.
That's the thing. Yeah, we can draft one late, but we need someone we can count on too, though, because we need somebody that's going to be that offset for Genty. Someone that's going to go out there and get almost a similar style, yardage that he would get for a short break. Because this kid can't be out there for 90% of the plays on offense. Because we don't have a viable. We're just going to kill the kid. We're going to run him ragged, and he'll be out of the league in no time. And that's what you don't want, because now you're talking about a wasted first round pick. Walker would be nice. Yeah. And that's the thing. I think if Kubiak comes here, you might have some guys that are worth coming here from like Seattle. Whereas when Pete came, the guys he brought from Seattle weren't. They weren't really worth it. Some shined here and there, but like Forsyth, that's what makes me nervous. Still, even it depends on the head coach now too. Like if we don't address certain things in free agency, we're screwed.
Yeah, for sure.
Free agency is going to be huge for us.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that in a bit, G fam. It's on NFL Network.
Huh? Is Mendoza playing in that? Oh no.
No, he's not.
Why not?
He's not going to do any. No, he's not going to do anything like that. You
Why
crazy?
should? Why should
He
he?
knows. I know. You're going to stir the pot.
What did it look? What happened with Shador? He didn't do any of that shit. What happened to him? He dropped.
That was not
I don't
because of
see why
that.
they.
You know
But again,
damn
is
well
it
that
a?
was because of his attitude. You know that was because of his attitude. The
But
way he was doing
he
his
still
interviews,
didn't partake in anything.
Stop.
He didn't do anything. And I know Mendoza's probably thinking the same thing. You know, he's got the number one sign, sewn up. But is he not doing stuff so he doesn't show any potential inadequacies that would draw some?
Cam Moore didn't do that either.
Yeah, and he's not going to do the combine either. Why
don't?
he should?
Normally, guys like that, they're not going to do stuff like that. They know that their stock is firmly secure.
Yeah, he'll be there for interviews and shit, but he ain't going to do any. He's not going to do any drills.
No, for sure. Salute to Licky in the building. Salute. Appreciate you.
That's a chicken shit way out, though, to sit there and say he doesn't risk getting injured. Again, get something other on film other than what you did on your own team. This is your chance to really prove that you are that number one overall. You know, some guys come out of nowhere with this Senior Bowl, and it's not so much the game, it's the practice during the week where guys rise up the charts, skyrocket.
And that's why you have these things for guys who probably projected lower to be able to go ahead and raise their stock. And that's basically that's what it's for. You know, that it could only benefit them. You know, I think in this case, when you already have that kind of cinched in, there's no point for you to be able to. There's no need for that. You know, what if he plays in the Senior Bowl and he gets injured? There was some dude who got injured in the East-West, but the Shrine Bowl the other day.
I think that should be part of this should be part of the rules for the draft. If you're coming out in the draft, you have to partake in the combine and the game, whatever. But you have to partake in the combine. If you want to be officially eligible to be in the draft, that should have to be part of that.
The combine makes more sense.
It should. Why should you be able to pick and choose? You know, if you want to be potentially drafted, you should partake in it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yep, exactly. The Underworld Olympics for sure.
Yeah, but I've said even last year I was saying it's not. I'm not just saying this because it's Mendoza. I've said this for the last couple of years that every player that wants to be in the draft or marks themselves eligible for the draft, they should be part of the combine. There should be no questions asked. They should do every freaking drill.
Yeah. I see why they wouldn't do it, and I really, that to me, if you already have the body of work, But yes, you can throw some balls to some receivers that you don't know. And that's
I think a lot of it is some players are scared because it's not run by their coaching staff. It's run by NFL scouts and coaches. They're going to pick up on that shit fast.
The combine is not designed to be in the favor of players. It's definitely designed to go ahead and be in the favor of scouts. And that's why you have guys who do their pro days. They like to do pro days instead of the combine because you're right. It's not run by their staff. It's not run by their coaching staff. It's run by NFL or whatever outside entities they bring in to go ahead and help out and do that. You know, obviously when they do pro days, it's run by the staff, and they're going to go ahead and highlight and do drills that are going to go ahead and highlight their guys, right? And that's kind of how
I will tell you this right now. I guarantee that if Shador would have participated in all that, meaning the Senior Bowl, the combine, I bet you he would have gone sooner than the 5th round. I would put money on that one.
If it would have gone sooner,
I disagree with that. He should have been. That's what I'm saying. Everybody should. What makes you any better that you don't have to do that than everybody else?
But my thing with Shador, if you want to use the Shador comparison, even if we would have done the combine, I think that just the way that teams were turned off by his personality, it would have had been so much of an improvement.
Oh, he was doomed from the start. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, yeah. So I think
But it would have helped him though if they would have seen what he could actually do based on the drills that they were running. It might have raised his stock. It would have erased some doubts, possibly. Some teams probably would have taken a shot on him in the second or third round. Maybe not still in the first, but who knows? That would have changed. Maybe it could have changed our scouts and our
I
coaches
don't think
staff.
it would. I don't think they would have changed a lot of people's minds. I think from what I heard, he was just bombing those fucking interviews, and
Yeah, it was.
at the end of the day, they got to think. He got to keep in mind. He just have to keep in mind. It's still a job interview. You're still interviewing for
Yeah.
a job.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna give you a lot of fucking leeway, but at the
Well,
end
when you walk into the job interview with your Dre Beats on or whatever, and you're marching to the your own beat of the drum and not really doing things the right way. Yeah, you kind of screw yourself.
yeah. If you walk in to an interview, just like for example, anybody who's gone out there interview for jobs, which is all of us at some point in time in our lives, you're not gonna go in your fucking pajamas. And the
Oh hell no.
funny story when I used to manage, because I was a manager for a long time, but when I used to manage, I had somebody who came in kind of like in their PJs, and I was like, what the fuck? I still did the interview. I did not take any part of that fucking interview seriously. And
I wouldn't either.
and what I expected when I saw that person was really what happened. I'm like, okay, those are the type of responses I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get a very like, hmm. I think you're a little bit inebriated to this interview, so I'm gonna go ahead and say no.
I know when I interviewed for for the fire service, you're interviewing with the chief of who's going to hire you and other chiefs from other cities and towns. And I went in a suit and everything. And then years on in my career and everything, I would see other people when we were doing hiring processes come in and they'd be like in a polo shirt, just a pair of khakis. I look at them, I'm like, you have no shot of getting this job. If you're not coming in dressed for the position, then don't even bother. You're wasting your time. You're wasting the time of the guys giving the interview. And it's the same thing in the NFL. If the guys are coming in and they're so lackadaisical about it, then why you're wasting people's time?
Yeah, exactly. I don't expect these guys to come in a suit and all that. But there should be a certain level of seriousness. There should be a certain level of professionalism that's put into these interviews.
Yep.
I just hope these guys take it seriously. I mean, they're buying for the future. So it
Yeah.
just depends. It just depends. Sometimes these teams are desperate and they don't give a fuck about that. They'll be like, whatever.
Well, I think now with the NIL, some of these guys have enough money banked up that they're like, hey, if I get this, I get it. If not, I'll go to another team. They'll draft me later. I'll still make my money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's some guys that are still in their 7th, 8th year seniors because they don't want to go out to the NFL because they probably know that they probably won't make it, and they're making a pretty good amount of money at the college level that they're able to go ahead and set themselves up for a very long time. For them and their family. So
Well, and the other thing too is you got some of these kids that are staying in so long that when they come out, they're already 2 years older than some of the other players that come out after 4 years in college. So you're getting them for a shorter time period now. So if you draft somebody that's already 24 years old, that's a couple of years lost already. In by the time their contract ends, they're already going to be almost 30 if they're drafted in the first round. You take their 5-year deal, they're already almost 30 years old already at that point. It's like your first contract and you're already on the cusp of 30 years old.
Yeah, and it's crazy too. Some of these kids are also coming out with like master degrees, if they're them being in for so damn long. Might as well. I'm like, you're there, you're getting a free ride. Get your master's degree for sure. Because if anything, that's your fallback plan. You have a master's degree, you can go ahead and do basically anything you want to do, for sure. Josh says, if Klint becomes a head coach, he will get his hands on Mendoza to see how good he's with X's and O's at the combine meetings. We will find out if he sold on Mendoza. Yeah. But I think honestly, bro, I think that question has already been asked. because like I've said before, if you're kind of reading the tea leaves, the Raiders, Brady and Spytek, I think, are probably sold on Mendoza. If not, either way, they still got to sell that. I don't give a damn because if you're gonna trade back, you have to sell that because you got to fucking prop this guy up. But I think who are they gonna bring in? They want somebody with the same vision. It doesn't make sense if they're bringing in a coach and he's not sold on Mendoza. That's not the route that he wants to go ahead and take from the get go. If he's like, well, he looks good to me, yada yada yada. Obviously, I got to go ahead and look more at the kid. That's a whole different other thing, right? And if they find again at this point, you have to find a reason why you shouldn't draft them, like him personally, right? I think that's where we're at this point. And if Kubiak finds something that he finds a reason why, and he shares that with Spytek and Brady, and everybody's in agreement, okay, so be it.
Because but I can give you one reason. He had frosted tips when he was in Cal, so that's reason enough.
He has a frosted tips. Not a fan of the frosted tips. I've heard.
It looked ridiculous.
Well, your boy said your guest the other day said that they wouldn't like him in the locker room. I think if it comes down to winning, I think they'll like him. I don't think they give a shit about that. I mean, look at Burrow. Burrow had fucking frosty tips at one point too.
Yeah.
I don't think none of that means shit. I mean, you got to remember the kid's 22 years old. He's a kid, still a kid. And most of these guys, they're either this is kind of starting to be a younger team. They're kind of in the same age range. Max. Obviously, like the oldest guy probably in the room is probably Gino. Aside from that, it's probably E-Rob. I think E-Rob is like in his mid-30s, somewhere around there. I don't know his age offhand, but he's like early to mid-30s. So around that.
Yeah, we are a young team. Like the average age, our average age is young.
Yeah,
I do know that. Actually, I think.
Yeah, so like the whole personality thing, I don't buy that. It's just there's always going to be that kind of fiddling out period. You're just a new guy on a team, and it's just the way it is. They'll like you, or they don't. That's kind of like that's where you find out if people went to your birthday party or not. So, shout out to my guy Anthony in the building. Salute, brother. Salute. But other than that, again, we just wanted to go ahead and come in, chop it up. Hopefully, maybe something gets leaked, and we'll find out to see if it was a pretty much done deal.
Something's gonna leak. Somebody's gonna say something somewhere along the line. That's almost a guarantee. It's gonna leak.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. E-Rob is 31. Yeah.
31.
Yeah. So I mean, he's almost 10 years older than Mendoza.
Now, if Mosher was still here, Mosher would be the oldest at 33.
Oh, was okay.
Yeah, he was 33.
Okay. But yeah, either way, these guys. I mean, I got to think back in my early 30s. I'm still like I'm more mature at that point, but like I remember like okay, cool. I'm not that far off. I can still relate to like a 22-year-old, 23-year-old. At 40 plus 40, different story. A little harder, but yeah, if it's a 28-year-old trying to relate to a 22-year-old, I'm not that far off.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But again, appreciate you guys tapping in and rocking with us on this Saturday morning. Again, make sure you guys go ahead and head on over to Jeff's channel, hit that subscribe button on my guy. Make sure you guys go ahead and hit that subscribe and like button on this channel as well. It does really go ahead and support the show, getting out to the YouTube universe, getting the Raider message out, and getting the channel out there. So appreciate you guys tapping in and rocking with me. Let them know, Jeff, what you have going on for this week coming up, if anything they should be looking out for.
If you're subbed on my channel, make sure you hit the notifications because I may do something later tonight. If not tonight, maybe tomorrow night. Anybody that's familiar with the old Friday night show we used to do, where we would just let anybody and everybody pull up, I may do that either tonight or tomorrow and let anybody that wants to come on and just kind of let it do a free for all Mendoza type thing, because I know everybody was in the chat big the other night, and it's tough to get your message across really in the chat. So if you got either take, whether you want them or you don't, it'll be an open forum basically. I'll just play referee. I probably won't even talk much, to be honest with you. I'll just
I think that's probably gonna have to be your role if you're gonna go towards that direction and have like a Royal Rumble. Oh, it's funny because the Royal Rumble's today. So you do a Royal Rumble. Yeah. So if you do a Royal Rumble for the Raider Nation on Mendoza, I think that'd be good. You can label it Royal Rumble Madness or something like that. Yeah. Mendoza
so
Madness.
I may do that. So kind of like pay homage to the old Friday night live shows. But yeah, my next time back on a scheduled show will be Tuesday night with the Most Notorious with Cheeto Linus and Raider Well from Silver and Black Podcast. Talking Raider football, anything Black Hole related. And then I'll be on with Jay, Cheeto, and Nate on Wednesday night for the Raider Connection. And then Nate and I again on Thursday. Raiders coast to coast.
Shout out to SoCal South, the Raider Rumble. There you go. You have your title for your show if you want to do that. That'll be a good one. You never know. You might get like a guest appearance by me.
Hey,
come on with a chair.
It'll be open.
Chair shots. Don't go south.
After Thursday night, I already had that idea on Thursday night after Thursday night show because that was just brutal Thursday night. So I'm like, I got to do something this weekend. So
yeah.
Might not be though, because I think today we're just gonna hang with the family and do a bunch of family game night stuff. If I do go on tonight, it probably won't be until after 10 o'clock my time.
Yeah,
it still works out for you guys.
I think that would be great. Yeah, late night type of thing, and it's gonna get wild. It's gonna get fucking raunchy, bro. So yeah, I think that would be probably the best fitting for it to go after 10.
It'll be fun now.
It'll be fun. It would be fun. As for me, I got Raiders Unfiltered on Monday, so make sure you guys tap into that in case something happens between now and Monday. You already know I'm gonna go on, so make sure you guys hit the notification on the channel. Same thing for Jeff. Hit the notification. You guys don't want to be left out of the dark if something drops. So hit that notification. Hit that subscribe on the channel. If you guys are on X, head on over to YouTube. Hit that subscribe. Hit that noti. That way you can stay informed. Everything Raiders related. Hit that noti on my profile as well. I try to pass along everything as much as credible as you can on Twitter as well. So other than that, appreciate you guys. As far as for Good Morning Raiders, I am going to go ahead and we're going to take a little break from the show. We're going to go ahead and come up with some really good news, some new stuff for you guys. So the show's not leaving, but we're going to take a little bit of a brief hiatus to go ahead and bring in some cool new stuff for you guys. So again, appreciate you guys. I will see you guys next time. I'll see you guys on Monday. Other than that, always remember, Rush Raiders, baby. You already know what time it is. Till next time, y'all.
Peace.
Peace. Shield. Good morning, brother. How you doing?
My guy, lunatic Raider, Raider Legions. What is good?
We on? Oh, hey!
We on.
None other than Mr. Fist, bringing none other than our guy, Joe Morley, bring out none other than the Violator, Wayne Aubrey, bring out none other than the notorious Hedgehog.